Myself Professor Kulkarni GR, and I am here to teach you a very interesting and important subject of your computer science, that is operating system. You all know the meaning of operating system and what is an operating system. So in this subject we are going to study the different types of the operating systems, what is the functionality of that all types of the operating system, what is mean by process, how process get work, how the process get communicate between each other, that is the synchronization between the process, inter-process communication. Next also we are going to study the deadlock, next the memory management, process scheduling, memory, swapping, paging, etc. So now we are going to start the operating system with the first chapter, that is introduction. So in this chapter we are going to study the basics of a operating system and the different types of the operating system. So let us start with the definition of operating system. So what is mean by operating system? Yes, the operating system is act as the intermediary between you people and the application program or the hardware. It is act as the intermediary between the you people and the hardware. You people means who? The user. So it is work as the intermediary between the user and the computer hardware. So this diagram shows the abstract view of the computer system. So the computer system consists the computer hardware, operating system, application program and the user, right? So the operating system is work as the intermediary between the computer hardware and the user with the help of the application program. So let us see what is the computer hardware. The computer hardware is nothing but the CPU or the IO devices, or we can say it as the different types of the resources, right? So computer hardware are the CPU time, memory, IO devices, etc. Next, the application program. The application programs are nothing but what? Compiler, database, spreadsheet, assembler, etc. So the application program is a program that is used to solve the user's query, right? So application program is used to solve the different types of the user's query, and the third part is the users, that is mean by the you people that are going to send their queries to the computer systems. And next is the operating system. So operating system coordinates between the computer hardware and the application program to solve the user's query, right? So it work as the coordinator or the manager to solve the user's query by using the application program and the hardware, right? So this is about the abstract view of the computer system. So next we can see the role of an operating system. So there are the different types of the systems get generated, that is mean by the single user systems, workstations or the remote systems, so etc. So according to that systems, the role of an operating system get changed. So very first, suppose there is the single user systems or the person user sit in front of the system with only the keyboard, mouse, etc. Then the operating system work or it plays the role like a simple manager. It gives the more importance to the performance rather than the resource allocation, as it works as the single user system. As a single user systems, all the resources are only to that users, so that it get more concentrate on the performance rather than the resource allocation. So second type, suppose the workstation system. So the user sit in front of the workstation or the any terminal, then the operating systems plays the role to manage the resources, because whenever you sit in front of the terminal or you, in front of the workstation, there are different types of the workstations that are connected with that terminal or the workstations, or the users from the different sites may access the informations and the resources. So at a times the number of users may request for a single resource. So in this case the operating system has to play the role or has to concentrate on the performance as well as the resource manager. Nowadays there are number of workstations that connected with the different workstations with the wire or without wires. That means there may be the wired systems or the wireless system. So according to that the role get changed. So more concentrate on the resource and the performance rather than the previous system. So next roles from the systems point of view. From the systems point of view, the operating system works as the manager to manage the resource. A very important thing of your operating system or the computer science branch is the resource, to manage the resource, to manage the CPU. So one of the important factor of your computer science branch is to manage the complexity of the resources. We have to keep the maximum complexity of the resource, and that complexity, maximum complexity of the resource is nothing but what? The maximum utilizations of the resources. So to maximize the utilizations of the resources, we have to manage the resources among the different users, and that is done by the operating system. So operating system work as the resource manager from the system point of view. That means it coordinates between the computer hardware and the users through application program. Application program is a program that is used to solve the user's query by using the computer hardware, and hardwares are nothing but what? One types of the resources. So the operating system plays the roles that it coordinates between the computer hardware and the users to solve the user's problem by using different types of the application program, right? So this all about the basics of the operating system. Definition: the abstract view of the computer system and the role of the operating systems from the user's point of view as well as from the system's point of view. Now we are going to study the next, the different types of the operating system. Different types of the operating system. So first is the simple batch system, second multi-programming, batch system, third time sharing system, and fourth one is the real time operating system. So these are some types of the operating system, that is simple batch system, multi-programming batch system, time sharing batch system, and real time operating system. So we will see one by one. Very first we will see the simple batch system. So what is mean by batch? So you all know your class is also get divided into a different batches, batch 1, batch 2 and batch 3. Suppose you are nothing but the process or the job, and you are get divides into a different batches to perform the particular task. Suppose you have the 3 subjects of a practical, subject 1, subject 2 and subject 3, suppose Python, operating system and Java. So your class get divides into 3 batches, and the students that going to perform the same types of the practical can comes under a same batch, right? Suppose the students that going to performs the operating system. All that students comes into a batch 1, the students which are going to perform the practical of the Java subject, that all students comes into that batch, and the students which are going to perform the practicals of the Python, that all students comes into that batch, right. So similarly, in the batch operating system, simple batch operating system, the operating system combines the jobs into a single batch which have the similar need, which has the similar requirement, or which are going to perform the similar jobs, right. Suppose there are number of user 1, user 2, user 3 and user 4. So user 1 creates the job 1, user 2 creates the job 2, user 3 creates the job 3 and user 4 creates the job 4. So now the job 1 and job 3 requires the same types of the resources, suppose, and job 2 and job 4 requires the same types of the resources. So there is the operator that operates on these jobs and see their requirements, see their resources and combine them into a single batch. Combine them into a single batch 2 and batch 1. So batch 1 consists job 1 and job 3 which requires the same types of the resources to execute, and batch 2 consists the job 2 and job 4 also that requires the same types of the resources, right. Next, whenever the jobs get converted into a batch, then there is the monitor that sends the jobs for the execution, that sends the jobs for the execution. So whenever the jobs converted into a batch, there is the monitor that monitors into the executions of the jobs of that batch. So monitor is a simple program that monitors the execution of the batch, that means the executions of the jobs that comes under the batch, right. So monitor is similar to your staff of that particular subject, that we are seeing your class is divides into a different batches. One batch is for the OS, another batch is for the Java and another batch is the Python. So faculty is nothing but the monitor that monitors on you people that you are going to perform the practicals of the operating system. If you are in the Python's batch, you are performing the practicals of the Python, and if you are in the Java batch, you are performing the practicals of the Java. And operator is again one types of the program that sees the requirement, needs and execution types of the jobs. That means the operator is nothing but the coordinator of your department that divides you into a different jobs, right. That is in short nothing but the timetable coordinator who defines you into a different jobs to perform the particular practicals, right. So all these about the simple batch system. In the simple batch operating systems, only your jobs get divides into a different batches according to their the need and according to the resource requirement, and that batch get executed afterwards by using the monitor. Monitor is the simple program that monitors on the jobs execution, right. So in the next lecture we will see the different remaining types of the operating system. Thank you.